Hello, Miss Amanda. Welcome to this edition of the HR Laboratory.
Thank you, Mr. Ayerkwame. It is really good to be here.
All right. Let's go straight to business of the day. Human Capital Management. What is it all about?
Human Capital Management, HCM, is a strategic approach to managing people in an organization, with the aim of maximizing the value of the workforce to achieve business goals. HCM involves managing and developing employees' skills, knowledge, and abilities to maximize their productivity and effectiveness, which ultimately contributes to an organization's success. HCM encompasses various HR practices such as talent acquisition, onboarding, performance management, learning and development, compensation and benefits, and employee engagement. It also involves the use of technology to streamline and automate HCM processes. A key aspect of HCM is recognizing that employees are not just a cost to the organization, but a valuable asset and investment. This approach emphasizes the need for HR to actively partner with business leaders to align talent and HR strategies with the organization's goals. Ultimately, effective HCM can help organizations to be more competitive, productive, and successful in the long term.
That was a very comprehensive explanation, Miss Amanda. But I must ask, how can one avoid confusing human capital management with human resource management?
All right. It is worthy of note that Human Capital Management (HCM) and Human Resource Management (HRM) are often used interchangeably. But there are some differences between the two. 1. Scope. HCM focuses on all aspects of human capital in an organization, from recruitment to retention to performance management, while HRM primarily deals with traditional administrative functions such as payroll, benefits administration, and compliance with labor laws. 2. Strategy. HCM considers employees as assets and invests in their development to achieve strategic goals, while HRM focuses on ensuring compliance with legal requirements and managing employee relations. 3. Data analytics. HCM leverages data analytics to forecast future workforce needs and identify skills gaps, while HRM focuses on collecting and managing data for traditional HR functions such as payroll. In the opinion of Mayo, 2001, the essential difference between HCM and HRM is that the former treats people as assets, while the latter treats them as costs. Kearns, 2005b, believes that in HCM people are value adders, not overheads, while in HRM people are treated as a significant cost and should be managed accordingly. It therefore goes without saying that, while HRM is important for managing the day-to-day operations of an organization's workforce, HCM is critical for aligning workforce strategies with business goals and driving organizational success.
Okay. Let us talk about the concept of human capital. What exactly does human capital refer to?
The term, human capital, was first originated by Schultz, 1961, and revamped in 1981, when he stated thus: consider all human abilities to be either innate or acquired attributes, which are valuable and can be augmented by appropriate investment will be human capital. According to Michael Armstrong's book Strategic Human Resource Management, A Guide to Action, human capital refers to the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other individual attributes possessed by employees that are valued by organizations and contribute to their performance and success. Human capital is often considered a critical asset that differentiates organizations from their competitors, as it is difficult to replicate or imitate. In this context, Armstrong emphasizes the importance of investing in human capital development through activities such as training and development, performance management, and career planning. Human capital encompasses not only education and work experience, but also other characteristics such as motivation, creativity, and emotional intelligence. In contrast to physical capital, which is tangible and can be easily quantified, human capital is intangible and can be difficult to measure. It should be noted that the effective management of human capital requires a strategic approach that aligns the organization's human resource practices with its overall business goals. Effective human capital management also requires that the organization considers and addresses the social, economic, and ethical implications of its practices. Specifically, effective management and development of human capital is essential to drive innovation, productivity, and competitive advantage. Companies that invest in the development of their workforce and create a positive work environment that values and nurtures human capital are more likely to attract and retain talent, increase employee engagement, and ultimately achieve their organizational goals.
What is the strategy involved in human capital management?
Before the strategy, let us first of all talk briefly on the practice of human capital management.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Oh. Thank you. Human capital management is concerned with measurement, reporting measurements, and drawing conclusions about the significance of the outcomes of measurement as a guide to future action. It identifies those aspects of people management that demonstrably have the greatest bearing on business performance. It clarifies the returns that can be obtained in terms of increased profitability, productivity, and overall effectiveness arising from the deployment, development, and engagement of the people the organization needs to achieve its goals. HCM points the way to achieving human capital advantage by highlighting where and how investments in people generate the highest returns. The ultimate goal of HCM practices is to maximize the potential of an organization's human resources to achieve business objectives and deliver exceptional customer value.
Tell me more.
HCM ensures that HRM policies and practices are developed to attain this end. These policies include knowledge management, resourcing, talent management, performance management, learning and development programs, and then, reward and recognition processes.
Okay.
Some common HCM practices include 1. Talent management. This involves attracting, identifying, developing, and retaining the best talent for the organization. 2. Performance management. HCM practices aim to align employee goals with organizational objectives. Performance management tools such as performance reviews, feedback, and recognition programs help organizations measure and improve employee performance. 3. Learning and development. HCM practices focus on ensuring employees have the necessary skills and knowledge to perform effectively. Organizations can provide training, mentoring, and coaching programs to develop employee capabilities. 4. Rewards and recognition. HCM practices aim to motivate and engage employees by offering attractive rewards and recognition programs. 5. Workforce planning. HCM practices involve analyzing the organization's workforce needs and planning for future human resource needs. 6. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. HCM practices aim to create an inclusive and diverse workplace that values and respects the contributions of all employees.
Miss Amanda, this is really huge.
Yes, it is, Mr. Airkerme. Importantly, from an organizational perspective, an HCM approach generates the following practical questions. 1. What are the key performance drivers that create value? 2. What skills have we got? What skills do we need now and in the future to meet our strategic aims? 3. How are we going to attract, develop, and retain these skills? 4. How can we develop a culture and environment in which organizational and individual learning takes place that meets both our needs and the needs of our employees? 5. How can we provide for both the explicit and tacit knowledge created in our organization to be captured, recorded, and used effectively?
Awesome. So awesome. Now, tell me about the human capital management strategy.
A human capital management strategy is a strategic approach to managing an organization's workforce in a way that maximizes its value and contribution to the organization's goals. It is focused on developing, managing, and retaining talent to create a competitive advantage for the organization. To provide guidelines for action, a human capital strategy can be developed, making use of the data provided by human capital measurement and reporting. The Mercer HR Consulting Organizational Performance Model describes a firm's human capital strategy as consisting of these 6 interconnected factors. 1. People, who is in the organization, their skills and competencies on hiring, what skills competences they develop through training and experience, their level of qualification, and the extent to which they apply firm-specific or generalized human capital. 2. Work processes, how work gets done, the degree of teamwork and interdependence amongst organizational units, and the role of technology. 3. Managerial structure, the degree of employee discretion, management direction and control, spans of control, performance management and work procedures. 4. Information and knowledge, how information is shared and interchanged between employees and with suppliers and customers through formal or informal means. 5. Decision-making, how important decisions are made and who makes them, the degree of decentralization, participation and timeliness of decisions. 6. Rewards, how monetary and non-monetary incentives are used, how much pay is at risk, individual versus group rewards, current versus longer-term career rewards. The human capital strategy of an organization can be regarded as complementary to its human resource strategy.
Okay. You said that human capital measurement reports provide data used in formulating human capital strategy, right?
Yes. You are right.
Then, what does human capital measurement imply?
Human capital measurement refers to the process of evaluating an organization's workforce and identifying key metrics to track and measure the value of its human capital. This is important because a company's human capital is often its most valuable asset, and the ability to measure it accurately can help managers make better decisions about how to invest in and deploy its workforce. There are a number of different approaches to measuring human capital, depending on the specific objectives of the organization.
Can you enumerate them succinctly?
Okay. Some common methods include: 1. Performance indicators. Performance indicators can be used to track the productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness of individual employees or teams. This may include metrics such as sales revenue, customer satisfaction ratings, or project completion rates. 2. Knowledge management. Knowledge management systems can be used to capture and share the knowledge and skills of employees within an organization. This can help to identify areas of expertise and promote best practices throughout the organization. 3. Employee surveys. Employee surveys can be used to gather feedback from employees about job satisfaction, training needs, and other factors that contribute to their overall performance and engagement. This information can be used to guide decisions about employee development and retention. 4. Talent analytics. Talent analytics can be used to analyze data on employee performance, turnover rates, and other factors to identify trends and patterns that could impact the organization's human capital strategy.
By implication, measurement of human capital is essential in identifying the strengths and weaknesses of the workforce and to develop effective strategies for improved performance.
You are very correct.
All right. Just before we draw the curtain, what does human capital reporting entail?
Human capital reporting refers to the process of analyzing and communicating information about an organization's workforce. This information can include data such as employee headcount, turnover rates, diversity statistics, and employee engagement levels. The purpose of human capital reporting is to provide insights and metrics that can be used to better understand an organization's workforce, identify areas for improvement, and align human capital strategies with business goals. By tracking and analyzing human capital data, organizations can make more informed decisions about talent management, workforce planning, and other HR-related activities. Human capital reporting can also be used to demonstrate an organization's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to monitor progress towards meeting diversity and inclusion goals. This information can be reported to stakeholders such as investors, customers, and employees, as well as regulators and other external organizations. Overall, human capital reporting is an important tool for organizations to manage their workforce effectively and demonstrate their commitment to creating a productive and inclusive workplace.
Miss Amanda, I must thank you for such an insightful session.
It is actually my pleasure, Mr. Ayerkweme.
Let's do this again, some other time.
All right. Until then.